Jack Oppel, Bud Bartley family of homes, building greener and smarter.
Build us and you're home free, simply working harder.
Well, thank you, sir. I want to talk about the custom building process. Obviously, Bud Bartley is famous for building most of the cool houses in Denton County, in my mind. The process itself, you know, when I'm picking a custom builder or recommending somebody, there's several guys that are known for building good looking houses, but the most important thing to me is your stability. Bud Bartley has been here longer than I've been a homeowner. And so when I'm telling people, you know, if the worst case scenario, something bad happens, I like you being involved because I know you'll still be here and do the right thing. So talking about stability and the process, I like people to understand the process that they can go through with you, or what you think are the correct steps and when you should be involved.
What we like to see, our experience has taught us that it's really best if someone's considering building a custom home, that they get the builder involved early in the process, even to the point of when they're still looking for lots. Oftentimes we may know where some lots are, or if they'll invite us out and let us look and do an analysis on the lot that they're considering. Because I can't tell you how many times we've seen someone go and they'll have bought the lot of their dreams, and I understand it because it's an emotional buy, and then they bought the lot and we come to talk with them and come to find out to get the lot buildable to where you can actually place a house on it, it's going to cost half again what they paid for the lot. And usually they didn't put that into their thought process.
And that's in retaining walls or potential vertical rise, the soil swelling, things like that.
Several things to consider. Potential vertical rise, like you mentioned, the need for retaining walls, the need for fill dirt, drainage considerations. Several factors can come in, and it's important to seek the counsel of a general contractor like ourselves that are used to building in the area.
Now, what if somebody's already talking to an architect? In my mind, knowing all the things that you do with your green program, don't they need to talk to you before the architect draws it? I mean, don't you need things done a different way to put your things in the house?
We would like to be involved in that process. Oftentimes, if someone already has the architect they're working with, that's great. But if they'll bring us in while they're still creating the plan, we can talk to the architect, we can talk with the homeowner. The architects are very good at interpreting people's thoughts and putting them on paper, but there is value to having the people that actually construct the property let us be involved. We can often ask questions or point out things that will help it go smoother, and it's a win-win when it's something that perhaps even saves money but functions better.
All right, so we get the house, we pick the lot. Hopefully you're involved just from estimating what it's going to take to get it built. We pick the architect, hopefully you're involved so that they do that. So let's talk about, you get to engineering the foundation. Me personally, the thing that I worry most about is not the lipstick and rouge. I know you're going to make a beautiful house. I want it to be stable. I hate problems. So do you use the same guys or engineers or foundation company? I mean, tell me about that part a little bit.
What we do, and what most builders of our class of builder, we have the foundations. They're designed by a registered Texas structural engineer. That engineer will take into account, among other things, the soils report. And that kind of ties back to what we were just talking about. Sometimes people may not be aware. It's a really good idea to get a soils report specific to the lot that you are purchasing. And if you get that done, I often tell people, look, that's something you really need to get, no matter whether we build the house or not. Of course, we want to build the house.
Sure.
But whether we build it or not, that's valuable information that's going to be relevant to no matter who builds the home, because the engineer that designs the foundation is going to use that data to know what features or what factors to use when they design the foundation.
Well, we were talking about a pretty complicated build that you did, and I like what you said about you're the chef. You're working off the menu. So we need to be sure that the thing is drawn the way that the person wants it.
Yes.
And you know, I know you guys have just 1,000 plans that somebody could choose from, but if they wanted to draw it first, you know, that architect decision is something that really you need to be involved in, isn't it?
We can help them just by visiting with people and listening to what they're describing, listening to the features they want in the house. In our mind, while they're talking, kind of running through the architects that we've worked with over the years. And oftentimes we can say, hey, maybe you ought to talk to this gentleman and this lady. They drew a house, and we can talk about the circumstances that they drew, and it can help match them up with the architect. So
I know we can't really do a lot with pricing, not knowing what somebody's, so and I don't even want to try to do a price per square foot, but when somebody comes to you and says, Jack, we want you to build this house, from the time that you start talking to the time that you can give them an estimate, what are we talking about time frame wise?
It can depend on the people we're working with, because the more we can get in their head, the more information we have, the quicker we can tell them, we call it an estimate of probable cost.
Okay.
The way we can develop the estimate of probable cost, we can say, hey, the house will cost X with this set of features in it. We've taken into account, you were talking about travertine, Mr. and Miss Jones, in the family room. Here it's accounted for. We try to tie the cost for specific components of the home back to things people can see, touch, and feel. So rather than just throwing out a number saying, hey, we provided for $20,000 worth of flooring in your house, we can say, hey, we gave an allowance of $18,000 for your house. If you take that $18,000, you'll be able to do wood floor in the study, travertine in the kitchen.
Gotcha.
You can lay it out like that so people can really tie it in.
So they can have a really good idea, and then obviously the things to make the house custom, we can adjust the price.
Sky's the limit.
Well, good. All right, the financing part of it. When we get into, obviously we're talking about houses that are over the jumbo limit here. What's the best way in my mind? The one-time close is nearly gone. So in your mind, what are you seeing now in the custom financing?
What we're seeing more and more is where people will simply get an interim construction loan. We have several lenders that we can refer people to. Peter Hayes.
Sure.
Right. We can refer them, help them through the process with the bank, and they'll get an interim or construction loan. After the construction is finished on the home, then the loan gets converted, or they get a new loan into a permanent mortgage.
And without getting technical or making this segment too long, do you offer programs where you carry the financing, or on a custom job, is it make it smarter for the homeowner to do it? Because really that kind of changes the price, doesn't it?
It does affect the price to some degree because, and we have the ability to get the interim loan through our company,
right.
And then someone would get a permanent loan and close on it, and then they would own the house. Certain circumstances, it makes more sense for the buyer to get the loan for construction. In some circumstances, it makes more sense for us to.
Well, rather than building all that interest into the price, you can just give them a clean number that doesn't have a lot of fat built into it. So,
yeah.
Well, Jack, I know that we've got several custom people to bring to you this year. So
great.
Looking forward to it, and we hope that helped everybody understand the process.
Thanks, Bill.
All right.